Hello, it's Jenna Lee, your life design coach, coming in live. I have something to talk about. I have something to share, and it might be a little uneasy. If you see in the title, we're talking about when things arise, when things come up, and they're uneasy moments. 9 times out of 10, we're making stories about them, right? So if we start feeling comparison, if you're starting to compare against somebody else, if you forget to put your blinders on every single morning, let's say this morning, you forgot to put those blinders on, right? When you woke up, when you don't have those blinders on, you have the tendency, and it's so easy to look over at someone else's lane. It's easy to look over at someone else's paper, look over at someone else's yard or someone else's, right? We've got social media. That just opens the door wide open for anyone that forgot to put their blinders on. And uneasy moments show up again and again and again when we step into self-comparison. When we start comparing ourselves to other people, uneasy feelings start to boil, right? There's also another thing I want to bring up, frustration. When you start feeling frustrated, it's typically because you don't understand something, right? Something's not working and you just don't know why, or you're trying to force something and it's just not working. Or there's the other side of it where you're frustrated because, they just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't see my point of view, right? You might be stuck in just your own perspective, your own point of view. And trust me, I was once there. It used to be growing up, and this is the thing. Let's step back 1 second. When you're growing up, you have a tendency, this is just what happens. You learn how to live, you learn how to lead yourself from the community around you, right? From your parents, from your grandparents, from whoever it is that you look up to, whatever they're doing, you're going to take that in. You're going to put that right in here and tuck it right in here, and you're not going to think anything of it, right? You're not going to think anything different. So if you are living with someone who is very solid, very, very masculine in their approach, and they are thinking, this is just the way that I am, take it or leave it, I am never changing, they are stuck in their way, right? Then guess what? Growing up, that's how you're going to become. You're going to be like, nope, take it or leave it, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and then that's it, right? And so I was once there. I grew up with that, and I grew up leading myself in that manner. And it's not the right avenue to take, right? It's not the right avenue to take. Now that I have elevated my standards, I have done life audit on myself, and I've become the woman that God wants me to be, the one that He created me to be. And so let's get back on track now. We took a step back because I wanted to fill you in, because I'm not just going to sit here and tell you all of this stuff without letting you know that why I am qualified to talk about this, to lead you in this way. Because again, when you have those, when you are stuck in that frustration, usually it is because you only have your own perspective. You are stuck on your only point of view. So moving on from that, there's also judgment, right? So we talked about comparison, we talked about frustration, and then we're talking about judgment. Judgment is a lot like comparison, right? You're judging things, but I feel like it can be both of them. It can fall in the category of frustration and also that comparison, right? It's like the two mixed together and you get the judgment. Because you might have the comparison and you're just like, you don't have the blinders on and you're feeling bad about yourself. You're making a story about yourself, right? You might not be making a story about them at that point. You might not have stepped into judgment. You're just making a story about you. Frustration again, you're sitting there like, I just don't get it. I'm frustrated. I'm trying to force this thing. It's still about you. You're making that story about you. But when we get a little bit deeper, we get into judgment. And that's when we start judging, right? We can judge ourselves, yes. But 9 times out of 10, with judgment, we are judging other people. We are not to judge, right? We are not to conform to this world, the patterns of this world. Judgment is one of them. It is not our job to judge, right? It is our job to love. It is our job to have compassion. This goes for all 3 of those. What I just talked about, when you have those uneasy events or feelings come up, comparison, frustration, judgment, the list goes on, but we're just talking about those 3 today. When you have those boiling, I know that it's hard I know sometimes it's very hard and difficult, and you can't even see yourself going into love at that point. But what if we gave compassion? And any of those 3 circumstances, let's just say on those 3 today. If you stepped into compassion, right? And I get it. Compassion's even hard. Difficult, like, compassion? No. There's no way. I am so frustrated. I am irritated. I am done with this story, this comparison and this judgment. This means this about me and that person or this situation. You've made up such a story about what has happened that you can't even give the other person or give the event or give whatever the situation is compassion. It's time to change our perspective, right? I get it. You're probably like, whoa, stop attacking me. I'm not attacking you, I promise. It's the truth, right? This is the truth, and the world needs to hear this more and more and more. So I'm not, and this is the thing. So I'm not saying that right away you were able to feel those 3 things, the comparison, the frustration, and the judgment, and then step into, into compassion. I'm not saying that that's what you can do. I'm not saying that, you can go into love. But what if we took it a step further and you just got curious? Just get curious, right? If you can't do love and compassion, you can do curious. You can step in to thinking, okay, I don't get this. I'm feeling frustration. I'm feeling a little bit of judgment here. I'm feeling a little bit of comparison here. Okay? We're going to elevate our standard. We're going to tell ourselves, okay, we can hold this. We got this. Feel the feeling. Let it move out. And then what is the better feeling thought? If you can't get into love, you can't get into compassion, you can get into curiosity. Get curious about it. Because 9 times out of 10, when we have a situation come up, when we have a lesson come up, when we have a challenge, when we have whatever it is that comes to you, there's a lesson within that. But if you are stuck on your own point of view, you are stuck in your own perspective, you are stuck in your own mindset, and you don't have your blinders on, what are you going to do? You're going to make up a story to protect yourself. Make up a story about whatever the case may be, right? But if we get curious about it and we take a second and we think, I wonder what this is trying to teach me. I wonder how they feel about this, or I wonder why that happened, or I wonder why they took that step or that action, or I wonder why that took a wrong turn. If you can get curious and look into someone else's perspective, someone else's point of view, I'm telling you, it makes life so much easier. So much easier. When you are telling yourself and other people, whoever it is, stories that you've made up to help protect yourself or protect whatever it is, living with that is heavy. That is so heavy. So I want you to consider this. Step into curiosity. From curiosity, then you can move to compassion, right? Okay, all right, I see their point of view. I give them compassion. I feel so bad that the enemy was tempting them at that level, and that they, whatever it is, right? And then you can step into love. It might take a while. It might take a year of praying. I don't know what it is, but as long as you are actively going up the ladder, back up to love, this world would be such a better place. Such a better place. So I hope this served you today. I hope that you're able to, instead of next time sitting with the feeling and making up a story, whatever the case may be, maybe it's even a positive thing, right? We're talking about uneasy feelings today, but if there's even a positive thing, make sure the story is aligned. Don't put that on yourself. Don't put that on your heart because it's heavy. We don't need to carry it, right? We don't need to carry it. So like I said, I hope this served you well. If it did, please comment. Whatever, let's comment life design. I'd love to see some comments of life design. Comment life design below. Share this out on your socials. Share it with a friend who might need to hear it, because we need to support each other, right? We need to step back into that love. And this, sharing this out, is love. Is love for the whole world, because we all know that this world needs to hear more of these type of messages. So again, make sure that you are following me. I am going to be coming live every single week with some golden nuggets. We'll just call this a golden nugget. And I hope that you are well, and I will see you on the next live.